Alright, moving on to the next Patreon request today, and this one comes from Dominique Fuentes, who asked me to do a Static Shock Black Panther crossover. Yeah, good old-fashioned Marvel DC crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just at the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can hit the third tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started. So the story begins in a night in Dakota. It's a fairly quiet night, but Static's just kind of patrolling the night. He's like, well, nothing too big, nothing too major. I could just go home. And then he hears gunfire, and he's like, and I ruined it. So he goes and sees like it's a gang fight between two rival groups, and it's just a straight up shootout, and Static comes in, uses his power to take away everyone's guns, and he's just like, you guys are you guys make it really easy to find you, what with all the gunfire. And one guy goes, oh yeah, how's this for gunfire? It just pulls out this massive cannon, hits Static with it. He barely creates like an electric shield, to like protect himself, but he still gets like hit hard by it. Everyone scatters, and Static is just kind of left all like disoriented. So the next day he's talking to Richie, and he's like, man, I don't know what that gun was, but it hit hard. Like that thing like dropped my ass like it was nothing. And he's like, well, what did it look like? It was like, well, it was a big gun, and it was shooting, and it felt like it was shooting like waves of energy, like sound. And he's like, I've heard of like sound-based weapons before, or like energy-based, but like that kind of weapon's pretty advanced. Like, maybe something new's hitting the market. But at the same time, that night, Static goes out again looking for for that gang with the new weapons. However, what he finds is that he hears gunfire again, and he's like, man, I don't know how Batman does it. It's like, I have to fly around. He's doing detection work. I don't know how that happens, but he hears gunfire, and this time screams. This time around, we find out that the gang that had all those advanced weapons are all dead. And that's when, when Static's trying to, like, figure out who was behind this and who did this, a shadow starts moving in the darkness and then leaps out at Static, and it's Black Panther. And Static's like, holy crap, the Black Panther. I'm talking about Black Panther. So yes, this is like a Marvel DC universe where it's like they live in the same universe. And Static's just like, holy shit, it's Black Panther. But did he kill these people? I don't know. I know Black Panther, like, and he's like, whoa, time out. I'm not gonna fight you. And T'Challa's like, good, you weren't going to win. And he goes, and Static's like, and Virgil's like, ow. Secondly, did you do this? I mean, I know you're a king, and I've heard stories about. And he's like, I didn't do this, but I would have. And he's like, if I killed them, there would be this. It wouldn't be like a mess like this. And he's like, oh, cool. Who did? And he's like, whoever did this was someone of serious someone had some serious power behind them. I've been tracking. These are stolen Wakandan weapons. And I've been tracking who stole it, but it seems they sent someone else to kill everyone. He's like, well, who are you tracking? He's like, he goes by the name White Wolf. He is my adopted brother. So, and he's like, Black Panther, White Wolf. Oh, I see. So so Static and Virgil start trying to investigate the scene, but Black Panther is like, look, go home. I don't need to look after a child while I'm in here, and you will stay out of my way. And Static's like, let me stop you right there, Your Highness. This is my town, and if one of your villains is running around with those kind of weapons, people are going to get hurt. So we're gonna do things my way. And if that means like hanging out with you, then that's what's gonna happen. And Black Panther just like, fine, but if you slow me down, I will stop you. Like, I will cut you loose. He's like, cool, fair enough. So Virgil and T'Challa start they agree to team up. And Virgil in his head, he's like fanboying because he's like, it's the ultimate black superhero in my town. Aside from like from the Green Lantern, John Stewart, this is he is the the alpha and omega. Black Panther is the alpha and omega of black superheroes, and I'm hanging out with him. I'm doing a team up with him. So on the outside, while he's trying to not Virgil's trying not to gush too hard. He's like, so what made White Wolf come to Dakota of all places? He's like, T'Challa's like, I don't know, but I do know if he is here, then it is nothing good for your town or my country. So they start investigating their leads. They start finding anyone and everyone who would probably know about White Wolf's connection here, and eventually it leads them to discover that White Wolf is working with Ebon, and Ebon and White Wolf have a much bigger plan in mind. Essentially, what they planned to do was that that White Wolf was going to hand out these Wakandan weapons to Ebon and his Bang Baby crew, but one of his suppliers double crossed them to try to sell on the side. Hence, why White Wolf and Ebon were the ones who killed everyone in that gang, because their supplier backstabbed them and sold them off. And he's like that also pissed him off, because that not only it tipped off Black Panther, who was on the trail of White Wolf. They also were tipped off Static. So now it's like we've got two superheroes after us. Hence why Ebon and White Wolf basically killed everyone. So once Static and Black Panther come in, they fight, but they escape. And White Wolf's whole plan is to have give these Wakandan weapons to Ebon and his crew, so they can launch a coup to take over Wakanda. To launch a quick coup in Wakanda and put White Wolf on the throne. So Black Panther's like, I know where they're going back to Wakanda, and he's like, wait, does that mean I get to go to Wakanda? And he's like, no, I'm going back to Wakanda. You're staying here. This team up's over. And he's like, no. I know those guys. I know Ebon's crew. So you let me come along, and we'll figure this stuff out along the way. And so Black Panther reluctantly acquiesces, and Virgil on the inside is like, I'm going to fucking Wakanda. So they travel back. They travel to Wakanda, and Virgil is just in awe of what he's seeing. Like, he gets to see, and he's like, I've had dreams about this place, man, and to work with you, the greatest black superhero in the world. And T'Challa's like, I'm just a king trying to protect his nation. And Virgil's like, I don't think you understand what you do for so many communities. I've had people want to leave America to come to your country. Like, you are your nation is a beacon to the rest of us out there in the world. My mom talked about wanting to see Wakanda before she died. And Black Panther's like, I've heard these before, and I try my best not to let those get to me. I am, as I said, I am merely a king, but I appreciate that I give everyone else of my same skin color that hope. So they reach Wakanda, and it's already under attack by White Wolf and the Bang Babies. They are launching this all-out attack on the capital. They've actually captured Black Panther, T'Challa's mother, but Black Panther says they've already taken the capital, but they have two things they weren't expecting. And Virgil's like, "What's that?" And he's like, T'Challa just throws his mask on. And he goes, "Us." So Black Panther and Static just burst in and start fighting their way through the Bang Babies and White Wolf's forces that he has, his private army. So as they're fighting their way through it, they kind of switch partners. You have Black Panther who fights Ebon, and Ebon's the opposite. He's like, you got all this tech, you got all of this, and you refuse to help anyone on the outside. And, I was doing this to, White Wolf promised us a place where we could be free. Rather than you who would shut your borders to everyone. A White Wolf promised us a land for not just for Bang Babies, but for everyone who had my skin color. And Black Panther's like, that's no, I am sorry that I failed you. but that gives you no excuse to be a terrorist, and just beats him down. White Wolf fights Static, and White Wolf is like, I was trained to be the ultimate hunter. I rival T'Challa in power. And he's like, you want to talk about power? Try this. And Static just unleashes this magnetic blast that the power surge actually almost blacks out all of Wakanda, and he hits White Wolf with it. So, with them defeated, White Wolf is taken into custody, and Black Panther is like, I suggest you take these criminals back to Hawkins. And one of Ebon's crew goes, why can't we just stay here and get locked up? He's like, because you get executed. He's like, please take us back. So there you go. But Black Panther, Virgil says, I will never forget this. I will never forget the day I met the greatest hero of all time. And he goes, funny. I was going to say the same thing, Static. So there you go. Alright, so there you go. That is the Black Panther Static Shock crossover. I'd like to thank Dominic Fuentes for this Patreon request. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. And once again, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. You guys can hit the 3rd tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. Mr. Multiverse, I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.